Sterling got into Earnhardt.
Dale is doing everything he can to keep Sterling behind him. Come on, man. Come on, baby. Come on, get him in the four. Get him in the 3 cars out.
Oh! Big trouble. Big wreck behind them.
You got it! You got it!
Michael Waltrip wins.
This is great. I just hope Dale was okay.
After the accident in turn 4 at the end of the Daytona 500, we've lost Dale Earnhardt.
In many ways, it seems like that sad day was yesterday. Time has passed, but I don't know if it's healed that wound. One thing about Dale Earnhardt, he did a lot of good things that nobody ever saw. He was great with Make-A-Wish kids, but my favorite story, one of the pastors from a local church came to the farm, to Dale's farm. And Dale's signing memorabilia, signing. He says, "What are you working on?" He says, "Well, we're raising a little money to have the parking lot paved at the church." Dale didn't even look up. "What's that going to run you?" "Well, we need to raise about $7,000. Pulls out his checkbook, writes a check for $7,000 and says, "Now, if you tell anybody that I wrote that check, I'm going to bring my bulldozer up and I'm going to tear that parking lot up myself." And he meant it.
Yes, he did.
I remember a night in New York at the Waldorf, and somebody else was the champion, and Dale was walking under the balcony along the side. He was about to get up and give his speech, and he just looked mad. And I go, "Champ, what's wrong?" "Second place sucks."
And he meant that.
A couple of quick ones about him. I remember the time he turned Terry Labonte 10, 11 years ago at Bristol, and it was just insane. He went on to win the race, and Terry's car's smoking. And I was working for PRN at the time, got a chance to go in there and interview him in the booze raining down. But you know something? That was just Dale. Win at any expense. And, he took it all in stride. The other funny thing to me was in the garage area signing autograph stuff. It was so funny. He competed with other drivers, especially during happy hour. A lot of fans would be in there. He'd wait till the other drivers came out of their haulers, and then the fans would besiege him. Then he'd scoot right out and go the other way, get to his car. It was hilarious. And sometimes when there were too many people in there, he'd just go to the back of the NASCAR trailer, and he would just sit there and sign. He'd look around at those guys going, they couldn't get in and out of the trailer. I mean, he just was a lot of fun.
Working with him for 2 years and being at Richard Childress Racing for 4 years with Dale there, obviously my stories are endless. But I guess the one that just sticks in my mind, quite honestly, would be my last one-on-one conversation with him. It was media day of Speed Weeks of 2001, and he had so much bounce in his step. He had just run the Rolex 24-hour race. He felt like he had gotten behind on his road course racing, and he grabbed me and he was telling me about the car, and he said, "I know that car is different, but I can't wait to get the Infineon. I can't wait to get to Watkins Glen." He had the surgery on his neck and his back between 99 and 2000. He'd won a few races in 2000. I truly believe he was poised in 2001. We'll never know, to win races and to contend for his 8th championship.
And at the end of that discussion, he told Larry and me, he says, when I quit doing this, I want to go run Le Mans.
Wow.
Run the 24 hours there with Junior.
Yeah, he had more fun in that race.
And let's not forget that fateful day, Michael Waltrip winning that race, his boss, his friend, losing his life. And then, of course, Michael, our colleague, has written that terrific book, In the Blink of an Eye, depicting that day. And so it's a good book. I've already read it.
Mike, I don't like the trade-off that happened here because we lost Dale, but his passing made the sport safer.
Safety, certainly. NASCAR had never had a proactive stance on safety. It was up to the drivers to manage their own environment. All of that changed, as Randy said, in the blink of an eye. The other thing that changed is the loss of Dale Earnhardt made all of America take a hard look at stock car racing. And a lot of the people that did in that aftermath stayed around for a while, and some of them became true fans.
Well, and a personal impact it had on me from a safety standpoint. I remember the first time I saw the Hans device or the Hutchins device, I looked and like, how in the world can someone drive with that apparatus on? The very next week, when my son Brandon ran his Bandolero race, I had him in a Hutchins device. So it made a huge impact on me personally, because I think just like everyone else, just like himself, we all thought he was invincible.
You know, I don't think any other athlete in any other sport had the type of impact that Dale Earnhardt did on NASCAR stock car racing. I mean, there has been a huge void that he has left behind in terms of the fan base and so forth. We all miss him. The race fans miss him. He was a unique character, not to mention one of the greatest drivers that has ever strapped in a stock car. He was just amazing.
And one of my favorite moments, the 92 All-Star race, we were all there doing different things. Earnhardt goes down the backstretch underneath Kyle Petty, and I thought to myself, he'll never make it through turn 3. And as, you know, Mike Joy went on to say, in a shower of sparks, you know, after Earnhardt spun out, I was at his farm 2 days later, and I said, dude, you are not going to make it through turn 3. Burns pays more to win.
And you know what? He told me before the 97 500, which was my first 500 with him, he had this way of getting you by the collar and telling you what he wanted to tell you. He said, I know everybody's making a big deal about this 500. It is a big deal. All I can tell you, you just get me to the rear bumper of the cat leading this thing late in the race, I'll turn his good day into a bad day.
He'd just worry him to death if he had to.
We still miss him.